Donald Trump really seems to be tapped out. Campaigns are long. You have to do a lot of events, a lot of travel. You're away from your family for a long time, particularly if you're Donald Trump and they refuse to come with you on any of these trips. And so I understand a certain amount of fatigue as the campaign goes on, but he's low energy at his events. Now he doesn't even want to do them. He just wants to play music. And more, he's not even showing up to a lot of them, particularly when it comes to media appearances. So as reported this morning, he pulled out of an interview with the Shade Room, a podcast or show that Harris had appeared on last week. It's a show that was designed to help him appeal to younger black men, younger men in general, black men in general, particularly younger black men. And a Trump advisor told their producers that he was, quote, exhausted and refusing some interviews, but that could change. Now, this could just be exhaustion. It could be literally what they say, although it does seem a little bit, like he wants to appeal to these people, but oh well. The issue is that it fits into a new narrative because last week he canceled a CBS interview on 60 Minutes. That's an important one. A lot of people watch those and he didn't do it. He still talks about it. He's super mad about Harris doing it, but he couldn't show up. He talked about it at events in Detroit and Reno. He posted about it on True Social at 1:12 a.m., as you do. He also had been scheduled to do an interview with NBC News' senior business correspondent, Christine Romans. They didn't do that. He canceled a speech to the NRA convention on Tuesday in Georgia. Seems like an important event for you. He canceled CNBC's Squawk Box. And of course, by the way, he refuses to debate an act that he had previously called the mark of a coward. And even when he does show up at the town halls, Brett, you know what that looks like in practice, but he's just not showing up a lot. And what do you think it is? Like, should we just assume he's tired? There's a lot of scheduling conflicts, or does it seem like maybe he's worried about sitting down with someone who won't be super nice to him?
Well, every reason he could possibly give is bad for him because the one and it's so sad. The one he's lying about, like he's not giving the actual reason. We all know the reason. The reason is that he loses every time he goes into hostile territory. Like he loses. He's done it he beat Joe Biden when Joe Biden could barely put together a sentence, and it was close. Like, when he went up against Kamala Harris in a debate, by all non-biased accounts, like normies were like, oh my God, this guy is getting his ass kicked. That's why he's not showing up. And that looks so bad on him, a guy who's fine going out looking the way he normally does, and he's ashamed of this, that he would rather say he's too physically weak. Think about that. Think about how bad that looks. His preferred narrative is that he's tie-tie and needs a nappy. That is what he's saying. And he's hiding away. And the fact is, he knows that he can only look good in the fake news environment he has forced on people on the right. Basically, what happened in this is the Republican establishment was so weak that even Donald Trump, a guy who now needs to take naps in the middle of the day, beat them. And because of that, the media had no choice but to rally around him for the last 8 years, right? That's what they've done. And now that's the only place, that cucked media is the only place he feels safe going.
Yeah.
And now he stands there behind protective glass at his, because too many Republicans have shot at him. He stands behind protective glass in his safe space, and he goes on Safe Space on Fox News on the curvy couch where he looks like a tiny little dork. And that's the only place he's going. It's so pathetic. It's so sad.
Utterly. I mean, even as you say in the end, visually sad. He seems to be lesser.
I don't think his campaign can survive this level of undeniable weakness.
I don't know. I mean, maybe the joke in the end will be on us. It is still very close. I don't know what he has done or said in the last month.
The reason that there has been any downturn in polling with Kamala is that the high was so high before.
Yeah, maybe.
And now, unfortunately for Trump, there's still a couple weeks left in the election for people to be like, oh yeah, where is he? And that's going to show weakness. And that's the prevailing narrative right now, is that he's a weak baby boy who has to hole himself up in a bunker, which is hilariously ironic because that's exactly what he criticized Biden for.
Members make a difference here at TYT. You help make the show happen, and we see you in the chat with your loyalty badge. Click the join button to become a member today.